Hey everybody, it's your boy Vape Nationalist and welcome to my garden. I am wholly unprepared to do an update video today. I don't have really specific things planned to say, but post got enough attention and really an update is overdue. I was being pissy, people were messaging me, y'all are some needy ass bitches, and he kept saying like, where's the update? Where's the update? And I kept being pissy. And anyway, here's the update. And well, as you can see, if you've been following from the last update I posted, which was I think a little over a month ago, you can just see how tremendously everything has grown here. And we've been fortunate to get a bunch of rain, and I've had cucumbers coming in, because if you continue to pick them, cucumbers will produce for about 6 weeks, and you can make some really delicious stuff with them. Like for instance, I've diced them up along with some store-bought avocados and mixed it in with like feta cheese and Caesar dressing, and I've made some really delicious salads to take to work. And but I know a lot of you guys, you're not as interested in the delicious produce I've been growing, such as my cucumbers and such as my almost ripe tomatoes and my corn, which is probably only a week or so from being ready to shuck. You guys are like, I'm here about the watermelons. And one of the main takeaway, I guess, from my last update video is that I only had 2 vines that survived a fungal infection, which I'd misdiagnosed. I thought it was just a slight dehydration, and didn't treat them properly, and ended up with only 2 vines that survived. And at the time, I wasn't very hopeful because they were still so small, and all my other vine crops were thriving, and I was comparing from one to the other. But even though they're still a lot smaller than these are my pumpkins here. They're just massive vines that are probably overcrowded. But compared to like my pumpkins, they're still not very big. But they are growing. They're continuing to thrive, and I'm a little more confident than I was at the time of that video. And those 2 mounds, for those who haven't been keeping up, those are, and I swear to God, this is not a biased process here, they are alt-right, and they are center-right, which is really dominating. I'll probably, I've been treating these, especially in the immediate wake of this fungal growth. I went and got some fungicide, and I talk about this in my last video. I went and got some fungicide and was treating them more regularly. Alt-right's looking a little wimpy here. I might need to spray a little fungicide or maybe insecticide. This leaf here looks a little eaten up, but overall it's doing fine. It's doing okay. And then center-right's really excelling. This is my second take of this video because I kept referring to center-right in that video as alt-center, which was wrong. Alt-center was actually the only mound to never produce anything. So I don't know why Nazis BTFO, I guess, but Ben Shapiro would be proud, I think. And I think like I said, this isn't biased on my end. Mother Nature has clearly favored this mound because Mother Nature appreciates a mixture of free market capitalist economics and military intervention. And I don't think you could ever come up with any situation where Mother Nature does not benefit from those 2 things, and that's probably why center-right is in the lead as of right now. And just to talk a little bit about the anatomy of vine plants, I'll kind of defer a little bit to my pumpkins here, even though they don't, it's not going to be exactly translated from one plant to the other. but you can see how the fruit will start to form kind of at the base of the flowers after the flowers have bloomed and been pollinated and the plant starts to grow. So that's going to be a pumpkin. And then here's one that's a little farther along in growth where the flower, you can see what's left of it, but it's withered and died because it's done its job. And as a point of comparison, my watermelons are kind of at this stage where the flowers are just barely starting to blossom, and they're blossoming on both actually. It's not just this, it's not just center right. And there's one that's actually starting to open up and blossom, and then we have some over on off right too. It's a little bit behind, but it's still chugging along. And then if you're wondering what's going on over here with these plants, I've kind of taken the soil from the other 7 mounds and I've coagulated it into 4 in order to grow some collards. And these are transplanted. These aren't seed planted. I actually just planted these sometime last week. So these did not sprout up overnight. But one cool thing about collards, if you're like, man, I'm just so inspired to get into gardening, and I hope you are, collards grow quickly. And if you're at a climate like I am that's fairly moderate and the freeze threat isn't going to occur for another 2 or 3 months or so, I would encourage you to go ahead. I got these for so cheap, man. I went to Lowe's. I got 6 of these plants. I gave some to my roommates for their garden, and I got 6 of these plants for like $4. So you can, if you know what types of plants grow fast and you don't try to grow anything from a seed, you just transplant stuff. Plant something like collards. I think you probably still have time. I'm hoping I do. Trying to think of what else to say here. Here's my fence. I've been making it out of bamboo. I guess the last video, I'll post a link to it. I did a lot more in-depth gardening advice on that video, just about sort of being a first-year gardener. And you know, I don't read. I don't like knowing new things, so I didn't research anything. It's just all trial and error. So it's about that learning curve. And I don't have as much to say without repeating myself from that video, but one thing I did learn a little bit about: bamboo sucks to make a fence out of. It's it works. I'm not gonna like replace it. I'm leasing, so I'm not gonna really invest much into just a 1-year garden here. But I thought, man, I have like a whole bamboo forest back here. I was like, man, I could just cut down some bamboo and make a sick fence, and it's gone okay. My roommates, for their garden, they spent the money for about a patch this size. They spent, I think, $150, and they did everything with like metal stakes. And if you're looking to garden and you're at a place you're going to stay at for a while, or preferably you own your land, invest in a real fence. And if you guys hadn't been some needy bitches and hassled me for an update, you would have had a real nice update in a week or so with a finished fence. But you get what you get. That about wraps it up for me. I don't have that much more to say. If you're one of the people, one of the special few, and your flare is still in the running, then I wish you the best of luck whenever I spray some insecticide and fungicide on off right there. I'll be sure to do it on center right too, just so there's no bias. And regardless of whether or not you are, I hope that you've been finding these updates to be enjoyable, and I hope you have a great evening.